In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Dear listeners, today I will tell you the long and heart-shaking story of a noble companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, a man whose name brings love, respect and inspiration to every believer who hears it. He is none other than Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiyallahu anhu, one of the greatest traders, one of the most generous men in Islamic history, and one of the 10 blessed companions who were promised paradise by the Prophet himself. This is not just a story of wealth, this is a story of faith, sacrifice, humility, and eternal success. Stay with me till the end, and you will feel your heart trembling with love for this man of Allah, and you will realize how to live a life that pleases Allah and His Messenger. Abdur Rahman ibn Awf's original name was Abd Amr, but when he accepted Islam, the Prophet, peace be upon him, himself gave him the name Abdur Rahman. He belonged to the noble tribe of Banu Zuhra of the Quraysh, the same tribe to which the Prophet's mother, Amina radiyallahu anha, belonged. From childhood he was intelligent, soft-hearted and respected among his people. When the light of Islam first appeared in Makkah, he was among the very first few to respond. Through the invitation of Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, Abdur Rahman embraced Islam and became one of the earliest 10 to accept the new faith. Like the rest of the early Muslims, he endured persecutions and hardships at the hands of the Quraysh, but his faith never wavered. When the migration to Abyssinia was ordered, he went, not once, but twice, leaving behind his home for the sake of Allah. Later, when the command for migration to Madinah came, he was among those who left everything in Makkah and joined the Prophet, peace be upon him, in building a new life in the city of the Ansar. There, one of the most famous incidents of his life took place. The Prophet established bonds of brotherhood between the Muhajirun and the Ansar. Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiyallahu anhu was paired with Saad ibn Rabi radiyallahu anhu, one of the wealthiest men of Madinah. Saad offered half of his wealth and even one of his wives in marriage to Abdur Rahman. But Abdur Rahman, with dignity and self-respect, replied, "May Allah bless your wealth and your family. Just show me the way to the marketplace." That same day he went to the market, started trading with honesty and hard work, and before long Allah placed such immense barakah in his business that he became one of the wealthiest men in Madinah. Yet despite his immense wealth, his heart never clung to it. Dear listeners, Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiyallahu anhu became a symbol of generosity. On one occasion, a caravan of 700 camels loaded with goods entered Madinah. People were amazed at the sight, but when he heard that worldly possessions mean nothing if not used for Allah's cause, he gave the entire caravan with all its goods in charity. Imagine this, 700 camels full of wealth, all given away in one moment for the sake of Allah. This was the level of his faith. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, prepared the Muslims for battles, Abdur Rahman was always among the first to contribute. Once he gave 4,000 dinars, half of his entire wealth, and kept the other half for his family. The Prophet, peace be upon him, prayed for barakah in his wealth, and indeed whatever he spent only increased. In every major battle, Badr, Uhud, Khandak, he fought alongside the Prophet. In Uhud, he was wounded more than 20 times, and one of his legs was permanently injured, leaving him with a limp for the rest of his life. But never did he complain. Instead, he thanked Allah for the honor of being wounded in his cause. Dear friends, Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiyallahu anhu was not only a warrior and a trader, but also a man of deep humility. Once food was placed before him, bread and meat. As he looked at the meal, he began to weep. He said, "Musab ibn Umair radiyallahu anhu was better than me, yet he was shrouded in a single cloth when he was martyred. If his head was covered, his feet were exposed. If his feet were covered, his head was exposed. And today we are given so much of the world's luxuries." Saying this, he left the food untouched, crying for the fear of Allah and remembering the sacrifices of those before him. The Prophet gave him the glad tidings of paradise, yet he feared his wealth might delay him at the gates of Jannah because of the long accounting that comes with riches. Once the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiyallahu anhu will enter paradise crawling because of the weight of his wealth." Hearing this, Abdur Rahman increased his charity even more, spending day and night in the path of Allah to lighten his accountability. When Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was stabbed and the question of choosing a successor arose, he appointed a council of 6 men to decide. And Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiallahu anhu was among them. In fact, he was given the responsibility to consult the people and make the final decision. With fairness and wisdom, he investigated the matter and then gave his support to Usman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, who became the 3rd Caliph of Islam. In the year 32 AD, during the Caliphate of Usman radiallahu anhu, Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiallahu anhu passed away. His funeral prayer was led by Usman himself and he was buried in Jannat al-Baqi. His departure left a deep mark in the hearts of the believers, for they knew a mountain of generosity, courage and faith had returned to his Lord. Dear listeners, the life of Abdur Rahman ibn Awf teaches us priceless lessons. He showed that one can be wealthy yet humble, successful in business yet always mindful of Allah, and powerful yet generous beyond measure. He proved that the real value of wealth is in how it is spent for Allah's sake, not in how much of it is hoarded. He showed us that true success is not in this world's luxuries, but in attaining Allah's pleasure and the eternal gardens of paradise. So, my beloved friends, let us take inspiration from the life of Abdur Rahman ibn Awf. Let us give in charity, remain humble even when Allah blesses us with wealth, and never forget that the final destination is the hereafter. And if you loved this emotional and faith-inspiring story of this noble companion, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that more stories of the beloved companions and the shining history of Islam reach your hearts and strengthen your faith.